This is Family Time 81. We're coming back to social awareness, specifically addressing civic engagement. Really, we're focusing on the role of service in a community, starting with a couple basic questions. First, what is service? For me, it boils down to altruism. It is trying to do something positive for other people without expecting something in return. We've talked about this before, but it's the idea of doing good for good's sake and for trying to empower and elevate other people. The next thing we're asking is, what is a community? A community can be a lot of different things. We all have our own communities. For myself, I know I belong to the community that is the town, the school district in which I live and teach and coach. That is a community. And I feel a strong sense of community where I live. The school itself is another community in which I exist. I have other communities within that one, the teams on which I coach, the students in my art room. We refer to ourselves as our art family, and we have a board where students sign this big board that says art family. That's a community. I think of people that I get to connect with doing some social emotional things or as an author or whatever, and I think that is a community that I have. I feel fortunate to be a member of several different communities, some of which overlap, some of which don't so much. And I suppose there's different definitions of what a community is. For me, it's basically just a group of people who are existing together and who impact each other. Whether we realize it or not, whether we're doing it intentionally or not, when we're in a community, we do impact the other people in our community. Sometimes in minor ways, sometimes in very significant ways. That's why it's important for us to take a step back and look at what is the role of service in a community. That's our next question I'm asking all of you this week. I'm asking all of my students. What is the role of service in a community? Why do we need service? For me, that's kind of the best part of a community, is we feel this attachment, we feel a bit of a responsibility for the other people in the community. And we're able to take care of each other. We're able to fill gaps. We now live in a pretty broad and global community. We're not able to be experts at everything. At least most people I know, aren't living self-sufficiently, entirely self-sufficiently. I go to the grocery store, I buy food that I didn't grow, that I didn't kill. I byproducts that I didn't make. I look to experts in different fields to help me. If it's healthcare, if I'm doing something financially, whatever it is, I'm relying on the expertise, the abilities, the experiences of a lot of different people. That's being part of a community. The idea of service in a community is that it's also good to give whatever we have to offer just for the sake of contributing to the greater good. And we've talked about the greater good before. The idea that the high tide raises all ships. That if we can make our community better, it lifts everything up. And such an important thing for me is that when I'm doing something altruistically, when I'm trying to do something just for the sake of it being right and good from my perspective, I also feel better. I get something out of that. Whenever I talk to people who are really struggling with something, who are really looking for some answers, one thing I suggest is start doing some things for other people. Start just trying to put some positivity into the world. Try to empower and assist other people. Because that shows us that we have value, that we have something to offer, and everyone does. You all have something to offer. You all have something to bring to your community. You all have something that other people need. You might be the one person that has something someone else needs. So it's important that you bring it to life and you put it into the world and you share it with your community. And by empowering others, not that this is the goal. We want it to be this altruistic thing. We want to do service because it's right and it's good. But know that we are going to get something out of this. We're going to get that validation. And we're going to feel better. It feels good to help other people. Sometimes we maybe see images or presented with notions that are very egocentric, that we think we have to look out for number one. And to a point we do. We have to take care of ourselves first. But I really think a great way to get over some of our own egocentric feelings, a great way to get out of our own heads when we're feeling down, when we're looking for purpose, when we're trying to find the right path, is to just start doing good for others. That's really something I want for all of you, for all of my students and athletes, is to be someone who is built for other people, who is contributing and doing good and supporting your community however you want to frame your community. I've referenced this many times. I love Mr. Rogers. And Mr. Rogers would say, in difficult times, look for the helpers. Because you can always find those people who are there trying to help others. So think about that this week. what is service? What is a community? What are the communities in your life? And how can service play an important role in a community and in society? Specifically, what can you do to improve your community? What can you offer? What service do you have to provide others? That's also a great way for my students who are thinking about the next chapter in your life, the next stage. What do you really want to do with life? That's a big, broad question. What service can you provide? What can you offer others? What are the things you're passionate about that you can bring to the table? Let's have a great week thinking about service, thinking about helping others. Much love.